I mean, I really do think this new wave of like YouTubers becoming filmmakers is something you are just going to see more and more of because, like you're saying, they've got a baked in audience. The Iron Lung thing with Markiplier and having, and I get it. Like, that's a very rare example because that dude has like 50 million subscribers. Like, not everyone is going to have that. But, you know, you look at like what Chris Duckman did with only 2 million. He has 2 million followers, right? And he got Shelby Oaks made into a movie for that in that same way. So I think that is something that is going to be, it's almost like in a bizarre way, that is the new found footage genre. Don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, you can't forget Raka Raka.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, they are like some of those exciting filmmakers coming out of Australia right now. Like,
they're like legit. Yeah. They're like, holy crap. Like, they're amazing. Yeah. Their movies are so freaking good. I guess that's why I say it's like found footage. It's like, you're going to get some really exceptional ones and then you're going to get a lot of like really bad ones.
But I think you got to jump in now then, because just like with producers, like really, especially like old producers that don't know a lot, you meet like an 80-year-old producer who's like, all right, I only do this if one of those influencer girls are in it. So then you have all these actors who are like, fuck, we need to be making TikTok dances because that's how we're going to get on movies these days. What you're saying there with like, yes, this being the new wave, we're going to see a bunch of directors be like, fuck, I got to make a YouTube channel because that's the only way they'll let me direct shit these days, you know? My hope is that I'm getting in there just before it so I can be a part of that wave of like, we only want a director that's got one of the YouTubes.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's me.
Also, I think another thing too, like you're saying, like if you're an aspiring filmmaker and you're listening to this, you're going to be seeing more and more movies where it's just kind of a one-man show.
Oh yeah.
And obviously that's something you've seen before, but it's becoming ever more popularized because of Iron Lung. There's a movie coming out, Exit 8. It's a very similar concept.
Oh, I'm very excited for that.
They're going to be seeking these ideas because they're super cheap to make, because the audience is open to that in a way where they were never really open to that before. And so because of Iron Lung and Exit 8, and there's a movie that I saw the other day that came out last year, and it was called Hollow Road. Have you seen it?
I have not, but I'll check it out.
Freaking watch that movie. I was blown away by it. I have not heard anyone speak about it, and the entire movie takes place in the car. And it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
I think I've heard of this.
It's so good. It's so good. Like, you're like literally like the screenwriter in me was just like wanting to just jump out of my skin because I'm looking at it going, of course, why did I not think of this?
Yeah.
It's riveting. I was on the edge of my seat. I was like in bed watching it just going, this is so freaking good. Like, I cannot believe how good this is. But yeah, I'm going to shut up because I might be overhyping it now, but like it was really unexpected. Really, really well done.
Oh, I'll definitely check it out. But yeah, we're definitely in this like weird space where mid-budget doesn't exist anymore and hasn't existed for a long time. So you are either getting $100 gazillion to make something or you're getting $3. And I think we're just going to see a lot of beautiful creativity coming out of the $3 range.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you're going to see these really incredible, and some bad ones, but you're going to see some really incredible micro-budget films. It's going to be like how it used to be, you know? Like, why was a movie good at all? It's because they were in these, well, CGI wasn't really there yet, so it forced you to be more creative. You know, that's the thing that I'm always pointing out about the movie Jaws. If that mechanical shark could work, right? It's because that mechanical shark was problematic and it wouldn't work. It forced them to do this creative workaround of like, okay, well, what if we just show just the fin? We'll just do the fin and then we'll just have this really compelling score that just sort of evokes the emotion that we were trying to aim for if we could have shown the shark. See, that's just like creativity.
Yeah.
And it really elevates the movie in a way that I don't think it would have. It's all about what you don't see. Go again, circling it back to Pluribus. It's the scene of you don't see all the people die. It's just them telling her 11 million or whatever it was that died because of you. That feels more haunting than if you actually had shown it to us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I know a lot of people didn't like it. It was called Skinamarink. And that's a movie that, you know, it all takes place in a house. It's very experimental, right? Like, you don't really see actors. Like, it's like two kids trapped in a house. Windows and doors are disappearing. It's really experimental. It's really weird. It's capturing that liminal space. genre that is ever growing, which, you know, we've got the Back Rooms that A24 is putting out later this year. It's like liminal space horror is becoming really popular. That would be another thing if you're a filmmaker, like to really kind of jump on. I think there's something really intriguing there. I don't know if Skinamarink cracked it, but I definitely view that film as a trailblazer. You know, just something that like, okay, that movie crawled, so whatever the next one is gonna... Because a lot of people say that all the time, right? Like they'll say Blair Witch was the granddaddy of, it's what started the it's not, it's actually not true. There were found footage movies that kind of happened first. It's just nobody remembers those because Blair Witch was the one that like exploded, right? Yeah. And then the found footage genre became this huge thing. So I think that there's definitely something there that I think a filmmaker is gonna crack, you know? In this like really creative workaround for micro budget type of thing that we're seeing. Yeah, we're just gonna get more. I was thinking when you were mentioning that, was it In a Violent Nature, also released on Shudder. Cause yeah, a slasher, I mean, I guess it can be cheap if you're getting into like exploitation style, but like slashers nowadays are not cheap. Those are not cheap films. Yeah, it just incorporates more, and it's a weird one. It's also, I wouldn't call it an experimental film, but it leans into that experimentalism a bit, because we've got these long tracking scenes of just walking that a lot of people were not into, and that I can get. But I was super into it. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? This is so brilliant. And I also think we're probably about to see like a huge comeback with just like the comedy genre. It feels like that's creeping in, and the parody genre, you know, because now we've got the scary movies. They're making a comeback. And I think that there's something interesting someone could do with this, where it's like a play on the slasher genre. Maybe do a parody called the slapper genre. So it's just a guy going around just slapping people the whole movie or something. Like, there's something, I don't know, there's something funny you could do there. Definitely. Write that down! But I'm like you, it's like, what is going to be that next thing that because I do feel like in a bizarre way, a lot of, I don't know, we've got so much, people get pissed off when you say this, and I get it, because we have so much elevated and good, unique horror movies coming out constantly, all the time. I don't know. Do we need 19 sequels to the same franchise thing over and over? You know what I mean? Like, I'm so good on sequels at this point. I really am too. And I feel bad saying that. You know, people say like, oh, you're the Alien guy. You must be excited for like all how they're doing. Like, it feels like, man, they've launched like 50 Predator movies. And I'm like, well, and you know, it's like a weird mixture of emotions, because I'm like, yes and no. Am I cool with getting one really good Predator movie? Yes. Do I need 50 of them? It can kind of dilute it. Yeah, it just starts to dilute the quality. It's like, what is that? Yeah. There's a word for that. I mean, you're seeing it now with like the reaction online, specifically around like, you know, the Mando and Grogu stuff. Like, people are just, even your most diehard Star Wars fans are just like, they are rejecting. I just think it's too much. It's too much. It's like you're saying, it's just too much ice cream. You just ate way too much ice cream. I'm very like hopeful and positive for like micro budget filmmaking. Filmmakers have no other choice but to go, okay, well, I guess I'll just have to get more creative and like scrounge up money and make it myself, which in a bizarre way, it's like, well, that's how it's always worked, you know? I mean, that's what Sam Raimi did. That's what, you know, it's what a lot of them do. They just sort of like, okay, I'll just knock on people's doors and borrow money from family members, and I'll just have my best friend be the lead actor, and I'll make it happen, right? Like, whatever I gotta do. Yeah, I'm hopeful for it, and I'll definitely be there supporting it. I love watching those kinds of films. Like, that's what I want more of. Putting it on the record now, my prediction. I think in the next 10-ish years, environmental horror, I think, is going to become huge. I think it's going to have just a really big moment. Oh, wow. I think as global warming gets worse and we start to see more climate refugees, and it starts to become less of this like distant thing and something that people are actively dealing with. I mean, we saw it with the LA fires. We'll see it with sea levels rising and people being forced out of their homes. As this becomes a more scary, like true, real thing that people deal with, I think we're going to see people reacting to that reality, but also people who that's their own lived experience, then turning around and needing to pour that out into something, and pouring that out into a screenplay about
whatever their specific thing is. So I think environmental horror, it has to be, it's coming.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah, I could totally see that. Yeah, because you've got so many young, like, creative people that was their lived-in experience growing up that way and witnessing that. And, you know, because that's so true. I mean, you think about, like, specifically with the horror genre, the idea of, like, when the housing crisis occurred, for example, that's when you started seeing this huge boom in home invasion movies like The Strangers and stuff. And, you know, there's that really profound moment at the end of that movie where the characters are asking, why are you doing this to us? And they said, because you were home. Think about all the people that lost their homes during that time. And then the few privileged people that were lucky enough to hold on to theirs. You know what I mean? And so there's a lot of guilt there, I think, particularly in that era. It certainly has an effect on people, and it definitely... art reflects life, life reflects art, you know? And it's always funny when you, like, look back in retrospect, movies that in the moment no one really got because it was, like, ahead of its time. So when you said that, I immediately thought of M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening, which is a movie that, like, everybody hated on in the moment, and it would be interesting if, like, when that, what you're saying booms and takes off, would then people revisit that and go, oh, this movie was actually, like, kind of ahead of the curve, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, definitely. And I think one film that is, like, has kind of flown under the radar that I think just deserves endless hype is The Bay. Have you seen it? It's a found footage environmentalist horror film.
And is it like the fishes become... Yeah. Oh man,
there's, like, chicken poop being pumped into the bay.
Yeah.
And so the fishes get a parasite, and that parasite grows big enough to attack the people.
Right. I did see that. It was a long time ago.
In, like, a weekend.
That's right. Yeah.
Love that one. Love that one so much.
Are you familiar with, hold on a sec, let me grab
Go for it.
I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Junji Ito, are you familiar with him?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, this is something like, I just, in case you weren't, but you're familiar with him. So in case you wasn't, you know, it's like the sharks and the fish, they come out of the sea, they've grown these, like, spider-like arms, and they're attacking the village. I've always said, like, it would be expensive, but it would be like The Bay on steroids, right? Like, it would take that
would be
idea.
Awesome.
It would be incredible. I've always wanted that particular story of his, and he's wrote incredible stuff, but that one in particular, I'm like, that would make a fantastic movie. You know, it'd be so good.
No, absolutely. Yeah, his stuff is, like, it's so haunting in just, like, all the best ways. You're like, damn, who made this? There's I can't remember who it is. It's like a meme of, like, the writer, like, their work and the writer, and it's like, it shows Junji Ito stuff, and then you see him in, like, real life. He's, like, super adorable, like, you know, like, with bright colors, and then it's compared him to Hayao Miyazaki, and then it shows, like, his work of, like, yay, like, the girls and, like, magic, and then you see him in real life. He's, like, in all black and with the glasses.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, I didn't know that. That's so funny. No, that's so true, though. Like, you know, like, everyone said that about Wes Craven, right? Like, he was just like he was just like such a sweet man, you know, and he made all these, like, these terrifyingly iconic franchises. And I think it's because people that are specifically into horror and they study it and stuff, it's they're, like, some of the most empathetic people you'll ever meet.
Definitely.
You know? It's people that are taking a real interest into, like, people's anxieties and fears. It's not what people think. It's not like people they're kind of aloof to the genre and they don't really understand it. They look at it on this surface level of, like, man, y'all are weird. You're, like, into witnessing people getting murdered and all this crazy stuff. And it's like, no, I think we're just really interested into why do people's kind of brains work the way they work, and, like, why are they afraid of that? And that's why I think diversity is so freaking important, because you get these really fascinating perspectives that you couldn't have got any other way.
Oh, absolutely.
I always get annoyed whenever, like, I'm recommending a movie to a friend and it'll be like a foreign film, for example, and they'll go, ugh, subtitles.
Yeah, come on. Also, nowadays we put on subtitles for everything. You can't hear anything in movies anymore, so you're reading them anyway.
It's so dumb. Like, you've got to get past that. You're robbing yourself of such rich storytelling.
Absolutely.
What was the movie that was so good? Parasite.
Oh, I loved Parasite.
Yeah, it's like one of the best movies I've ever seen. And to think that, like, people will go, ugh, subtitles, and they just, like, you know, dip out on it.
But one thing I loved about Parasite's win is that, like, all of the cinephiles had their moment to be, like, insufferable. Like, oh, you're just now hearing about Bong Joon-ho? I'm like, oh, no, Parasite's good. But, you know, I was fooled. I was like, yeah, no, another one of Bong Joon-ho's works? Sure, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I mean, that is an unfortunate thing about film culture, I guess. Some of them, I think, definitely know they're being pretentious. I think they're 100%. They make it a big part of their identity. They lean into it.
Oh, yeah.
Not being self-aware. You know what I mean?
I hear that, but I also think it's okay to be a little pretentious to a certain degree. Film is like your thing, you know? So like people who are like, oh, why do you know such obscure films? I'm like, I'm trying to be a filmmaker, dude. Like that just makes sense. It's not me trying to one up you. This is like my thing. So in the same way of someone that's like their entire life is making tiles, they're gonna know about some shapes and styles and methods of putting down tiles you've never heard of. You know about tiles. You don't know jack shit about like crazy obscure films from Hungary in the 20s. That's me. I got you on that.
The thing with me is, in the film circle, I have people say very wonderful, kind things about me all the time. But the reality is I'm a very boring person and not a cool person outside of film. Like if you try to speak to me about, so did you watch the game last night? I'm like, no, I didn't. And I feel really bad about this, and I'm trying to be better about it. People will ask me about some sort of world event that happened on the news, and I'm just not tapped in. And I'm trying to be better about that. I think that, to your point, it's like, if this is what you want to do, then like do it, lean in, like do it, and just do it like full time and make it like be like you say, be pretentious. It's okay, like do that a little bit.
But I also think, especially with the younger generation, there's this desperate need for nonchalance where, and I don't work in post, but like I've heard from friends who do work in post who will like be working with these younger, newer directors to like edit up their stuff, where because it's so cool to be nonchalant that they're not doing their studying as much. And I'm not speaking about everybody, don't be in the comments, but like you will see like certain filmmakers that are just they haven't seen a lot.
No.
So for a film like this, you feel like the editing style of Her would work for this, and they go, I've never seen Her, and you're like, okay, well,
oh my gosh,
you're clearly in this genre. You have you know, sci-fi romance, for example. And you haven't seen Her. I feel like you should have probably seen that. Like something in your genre. Like, come on.
The biggest fundamental difference is they are so hyper aware that they're being perceived. They are so aware that there is cameras everywhere, that everyone has a camera in their pocket, everybody, and that was not my grade school experience, right? Like I grew up where
we could just do embarrassing stuff and everyone would forget.
Oh my gosh. Well, and you know, like my wife was talking about this very thing the other day about how like people would go to the clubs to dance. You know, it was all about dancing.
This is the biggest tragedy of our time, that kids don't dance at the club no more. That, I'm not even at the club, but the thought of that is devastating to me.
Exactly, because we were much more free, because we didn't have that worry of like, oh, this is going to end up on TikTok or something.
Exactly.
And so now they are so aware that they're being perceived that it's like, oh, well, I don't want to do something cringy. I don't want to do something that could potentially, you know, and you've got to get past that. You've got to get past the, you know, and if you're going, especially if you want to go into the arts, my biggest worry, and maybe this is what you were trying to also get at, I don't know, but like, are we worried that art could potentially suffer because of that mentality? And like, to your point, like they're not cinephiles in the same way you and I are. They're not watching everything. They're just kind of they just have their few favorite films, and then they have their favorite YouTubers. So like, what is that gonna look like?
I'm certainly concerned about it. And like a lot of filmmakers have said this, like a big part of being a good filmmaker is going out and living your life, and so you have some shit to talk about, right? And when you're young, you hear that advice, you're like, oh, that's fucking stupid. And then you get a bit older, and like, I have gotten to be a screener or a judge or a jury on like a gazillion film festivals at this point. And now that I'm old enough to see it, where I'm like, oh yeah, 19-year-olds make shit art. I'm sorry, not all of you, but like you see a lot of the same stuff. They are just trying to be whoever their favorite filmmaker is, and it's like whoever the filmmaker of the moment is, you see it really clearly. So you'll see it and you're like, oh, okay, now I get it. Yeah, you need to go out and live life so that you're not trying to be Greta Gerwig, but you have a you to be, because at 19 there is no you to be yet. And with previous generations, that would happen. They'd make bad art at 19, go out, go to the club, go and travel a bit, meet people, have their heart broken, and then come back at like whatever age it is for them, where now they've lived enough life to like tell a story and have a perspective. My fear is, with this desperate need to not be seen as cringe and this like vicarious living through just watching TikToks, we're gonna have a generation of filmmakers who have not lived at all.
Honestly, what you're saying is so real. There was a video that went viral the other day. I don't know if you saw it, but it was a person on Instagram. They made a video explaining why it was a person on TikTok explaining why they deleted their Instagram, because they were on Instagram and they saw the top of Mount Everest. They saw someone taking a video of Mount Everest, and they said it's like someone was training their whole life for that moment, and I saw something that I shouldn't have.
And I saw a picture from the top of Mount Everest.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, this is beautiful. And then I stopped and I was like, wait, what? Why do I now know what that looks like?
And he, you know, the point he was making was, it's not like I was ever going to climb Mount Everest. Like, I never had that, but it's like, it's robbing me of the interest of ever even taking up hiking to begin with. I think that's so real, what you're saying of like, well, if I can just view other people's lived in experiences, or then it's like, why do I need to go live my own?
Exactly.
It's one of those things that passes my mind every day. But I remember when I was in film school, like you're saying, I was 19. I was a moron. Like, I wasn't like no lived in experience whatsoever. And I made a short film. I mean, it really had no story. It was just me, like, I just was making something.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember them talking about it. And I was sitting there going, oh, was that what I was saying? Was that, and you know, and you like realize like, oh, art is always saying something, even when you don't mean to be saying something, even when that wasn't even any, like that never entered my mind ever, like the things that the class was saying. And then from there, I segued into a job where I was working for a real estate company, and my specific role was they would acquire these homes that were like foreclosed. And it was always really, really sad stories. It would be like a person died in this house. They were a hoarder. I mean, the story was different every time, but it gave me this and I did that for like 10 years. And what that gave me was every time you walk into a home, you're walking into a story, and you're getting to see like their most intimate things. So my job was to like box that stuff up and like throw away things that wouldn't sell. Like, oh, this isn't going to sell in an auction or online or whatever. But then it gave me a lot of like empathy to just people, right? And I feel like because of those experiences, it made me a better storyteller. And I'm sure you've had those similar kind of moments where you're like, oh, I wouldn't have even been able to think of this if it wasn't for that happening, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And like something I see a lot with shorts or like scripts written by young people is that they don't know how other people talk.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, now you have all this experience of, like, I think knowing what the inside of people's houses looks like, that's such a big one. Like, that's so, not made up, knowing what's in there, like, that's something you can pull from. But then, yeah, also just simple things of, like, and I think anyone who's an expert, like, in anything at all, and I've seen some TikToks about this, and I always think they're so funny, of, like, things that they see in movies, they're like, that's actually insane. So, like, there was one where a carpenter was like, oh, this type of door wouldn't go this way, would go this way, because like there's like this whole thing about like woodworking that they know that whoever's setting up the set didn't know.
Right, yeah.
I'm a certified EMT because during COVID lockdown, I was like, I need to be doing something, and I knew full well I would never be working in an ambulance, but I'm like, it'll be good for writing. I now see so much stuff in film and TV that is medically incorrect. I'm like,
oh yeah.
Anyone who's expert in anything sees that. They see it. They're like, or even like small things. If you work at a bar, and they'll do some stuff at a bar in films where you're like, that makes no sense. So like wherever, just working anywhere, and whatever experience you pull gives you that bit of expertise to write with that the youth don't have, and we need them to go out and get.
Yeah, because essentially what you and I are hitting on, it's the fear that innovation in art will die because you're just stuck in this rut of imitating. You're just imitating, so you're never going to innovate. I don't know, is this just like, do you think this is just like something as every generation reaches this conclusion?
I worry about that too, yes, that we sound like idiots, and that the younger generation, like 30 years from now, is going to be like, they really thought that was it, and like they'll come out with like the most crazy, beautiful, insane stuff that we couldn't even imagine, and that's what I hope happens.
Me too. Exactly. If you are watching this in the future, 20 years from now, don't point back at us and look at us and go, you dumb old. It's like, no, we are rooting for you.
Genuinely are. We're not hating ass old people, I promise.
No. Please prove us wrong. Please,
Yeah.
because the biggest fear that we have right now in this moment in 2026 is that every movie in 20 years is AI. No one's doing anything anymore, you know? And like that's the worst thing that could possibly happen with art, you know?
I was actually talking to my friend about this today. I would say 75% of the ads that I see on the day-to-day are AI now. They're overwhelmingly AI, and like entirely so. Like I'll be watching, I'm like, that's not a person. And it's so, and like I did kind of expect this. I'm like, I knew they wouldn't be able to start with like film and TV. That's too hard. But a quick little 30-second spot, you know, like we're not attached to commercial actors. We don't know their names. We don't know their faces. So they would be easy to be the first to go and lose their jobs, you know?
Yeah. I despise it whenever I like predict a negative outcome and I'm right, because like we just said, I want to be wrong so badly, but like
I want to be wrong. Yes.
You saw all these like filmmakers, these think pieces of people like scoffing at it, being like, this will never be a thing or a threat or take jobs, and I'm like, here's what you're not like looking at or considering is it's just like how old people were like dismissive to the internet when it first came around.
Oh yeah.
But who embraced the internet? Young people. Young people embraced it. Who is embracing AI? Young people. What I remember saying was, it's not going to be what people think. I think it's going to be what the youth is really tapped into, which is like anime. Someone's going to do an anime because it's animation, and I think that will be more of a like, oh, okay, it's not real people, so it's going to feel like a loophole in a lot of people's brains.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it's really good, if it's good, it's good. If it's good, it's good, right? Because we're speaking at it from a lens of it's still relatively new. What is the conversation like in 10 years?
I remember like the conversation around deepfakes, I would say like 10 years ago. It was so scary and so new. And now we don't talk about deepfakes so much just because that's like the reality. Like, we could all make one right now. Yeah. You know, I'm like, okay. And we're not something we could do about it, or it's just...
And again, going back to what I said a moment ago about me not being afraid to be perceived, it's like, okay, LP, that's cool, but what is the horror version of that? Because you've been filming yourself making all these videos that, you know, something can just read and perfectly mimic your face and your voice and your mannerisms and, you know, like make content in your image, and it's not even you.
Oh, absolutely. And none of us are reading the terms and conditions. I guarantee you.
No.
Someone's got some rights to our likeness, one of these platforms, or if not all of them, you know? So, and then again, now it's like a catch-22 of being a creative, of like, if you want to make it as a creative, you need to be making social content, you need to show your face, because faceless content, I mean, it's working for some people, but not for most of us. You got to be out there, be a personality, blah, blah, blah. You have to be on, and you have to let AI, like, steal your likeness if you want to have a career in the arts.
You gotta, in this weird moment in time we're in, it's like, and I guess that's why I'm willing to do it, because I'm like, well, what else can I do? This is the world I'm in.
I mean, same, yeah.
Hopefully we're being like old person shaking a cloud, and like, you know, we're like, oh,
people laugh at us in 10 years, like, it's actually all fine, haha. Like,
but in reality, it's actually like, maybe it opens doors in way, and I'm not saying like AI, I'm just saying like, because something I do think is interesting when you study not just cinema history, just art in general. Suppression, as sad as it is, but like when you suppress art, there's always a boom that comes out afterwards, right?
Yes.
The longer you try to get someone to not be able to express themselves, the louder they're going to scream when they can. Yeah. And so that is, I guess, maybe the positive spin on all this, is that AI slop, as people like to say, where it's just everything is going to kind of look the same and feel the same, will hopefully create a interest in like, well, let's do something that only we can do that AI cannot do.
Exactly, yeah.
Hopefully that's where it goes.
Yeah, fingers crossed, man, that this all works out okay. And young people laugh at us after this. I'm like, oh, they're worried about nothing. These scared old people. That's what we're manifesting. That's what's gonna happen. We're all gonna be okay.
That's the title. We hope we're wrong.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
really hope we're wrong. We promise we're not doomers, but
Exactly, yeah. I want to see more experimentation, and I want to see, but not experimentation for experiment's sake. I want it to actually like create, like you do something really interesting with it, you know.
Oh,
And that's
definitely.
the challenge. That's the toughest thing for every filmmaker, right? It's like, how do I do something that just doesn't feel like something you're seeing everywhere, and it's like, oh, this is unique.
But I think we're gonna see in the micro budget realm a divestment from celebrity a bit as well, because one, we can't afford it,
No.
and two, a lot of talk about their faces being frozen with all the plastic surgery and Botox.
So real.
None of them look believable anymore, and so we talk about it like it's a bad thing, because it is. But my hope is that that's like the one space where like a bunch of new actors can come out of, like, no A-list actor can be in this role. We have to hire a smaller actor to play the lead in this period piece.
So like the very thing you're saying is, this is a hot take, but this is why I think the found footage genre died. Like, for the most part, like, I get it. I know it's still happening, but like it has died for this very reason, because what's happened is like recognizable people are in them.
Yeah, and yeah, you're out of it immediately. Like, is that Addison Rae? Like, you can't.
Yeah, it completely destroys the illusion of what the appeal to that genre is. Like, the appeal is that it is found footage. I don't know these people.
Yeah, this could be real, maybe.
That illusion is unfortunately dead now, I feel like. And I feel like the only way you're ever going to capture that vibe or that feeling again is exactly what we're talking about. It's like, no, you need to like purposely, and I think that might need to be the thing that is leveraged to the studio, and the studio saying like, okay, but who's attached to it? It's like, no, that is the point.
Yeah, this is real footage of a murder, actually. That's why there's no actors in it.
Yeah. It
What?
needs to be, yeah, right, yeah. It needs to be like, it's just the everyman. It just feels like the everyday person. Like,
Yeah.
This could be anybody. What is the feeling capturing when you're scrolling? It's like, you don't know these people.
Exactly.
You know, you don't know them. And then like you scroll and then they say something that hooks you, or there's something about the video that makes you go, oh, what's this about? I don't know this person, but they have a hot take on what's happening in the country, so I'm going to listen to it. It's like, that's what the film needs to be kind of capturing. It needs to be capturing that kind of same effect.
Oh, absolutely. You're onto something there.
If I'm watching a movie with Ben Affleck, all I see is Ben Affleck.
Oh, for sure.
I just see Ben Affleck. I don't really see
It's
a
too late now,
character. Yeah, it's too late now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like a director, they come out with a movie and then they go away. You're not seeing them all the time, you know, and I think that's part of that's why you get hyped for it.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, because we had, what was it? I think it was last summer, where there was like every single film in theaters had Pedro Pascal in it. All but like one. It was like, I don't know, it was like Fantastic Four and Eddington and that one where he's the romantic lead. What is it? The Materialist. And it was like every film in theaters had Pedro Pascal. I'm like,
and he had the HBO
him,
show, and
and
everyone loves him, but it's like your point. It's like, dude, I'm sick of you though.
Yeah, go take a break.
And I think the same thing can happen with people you don't see, like directors. I always struggle to think of his name.
Osgood Perkins.
Yeah, it felt like he had a movie coming out like every 3 months, and I'm
it felt like a lot.
And I think people are sort of like, okay, why don't you like go work, you know, maybe just like go away for a bit and come, because we love you. We really think you've got an eye.
For sure, yeah.
Everyone has these like tinfoil hat theories on why did 28 years later The Bone Temple, why did it bomb at the box office? And everyone's got these like, my hot take is it came out 6 months after the last one. Your cinephiles, people like you and I who are very tapped in, we were aware of it and we were excited for it and we knew that it was a sequel. But your average film goer,
oh yeah, they thought it was the same film.
Yeah, they looked at that and went, oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, no, you didn't. It's actually another one.
It's actually a totally different movie. And I just think that, there is some danger in overexposure.
Yeah, which is funny because like I feel like films and TV are in opposite spots where like, okay, for films, take a break. You know, like, take a break. Maybe a year in between each of these would be nice. And then for TV, it's the opposite, where it's like, we're gonna take 6 years in between seasons now. Good fucking luck. We're like, whoa, I forgot about the show now. Do I have to rewatch it? I don't remember anything. You can't do that. That's not right either. Like, you need to switch.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. A lot of people talk about that all the time, about like how TV shows used to be. Like Lost, for example, was 22 episodes long, 1 year apart. They were coming out with a season every year. And now you look back on that and you're like, that's mind-blowing, because now we're getting 8 to 10 episodes every 3 years on a show.
We're pushing towards 6 to 8 nowadays.
Yeah.
They're giving us less and less. They're giving us so much less to the point where I'm like, should this have just been a movie, guys? Maybe this should have been a movie.
Yeah. And I do think, to, you know, something you said earlier, you were like, so many of these shows, like, they come out and they're good, but they get canceled. And, you know, I almost wonder, is that the studio trying to get ahead of that, where it's like, we're going to market these as mini series, so that way it's a way to save face in case the show does fail. We're like, well, it was only ever intended to be a mini series. Yeah. But yet the model now is, well, if it does pop off, like Stranger Things was a mini series. Walking Dead was a mini-series. There's been so many other shows that by design was only ever meant to be just a few, like just 6 to 8 episodes, and that was it. But because it became a global phenomenon, they were like, oh, let's keep milking this.
But also something I'm hearing from people is that, like, people will present stuff to Netflix that is a feature, and they then ask them, can you stretch this out into a series?
Interesting.
There's a lot of fluff in this should have been shorter. This should have been a movie, you know? And I think what I'm seeing is stuff that was a movie, and then to get it made, they were like, fuck it, okay, yeah, we'll make it.
Or how many times have you watched a movie and you thought to yourself, this would have been an incredible short?
Yeah.
This would have been incredible. Like, if this was like 10 minutes long, it would have been phenomenal, you know? Yep. And it's like, but we have stretched this to 2.5 hours, and we really didn't need to, you know?
Did not need to, yeah.
Some of the best scenes in cinema breathe, you know? Like, some of the most emotional moments, they breathe. And so that's something, like, I've just been very, like, cognizant of when I'm doing my screenwriting, of, like, yeah, let a moment breathe. Like, it's okay. Like, let them, like, we don't need something happening on the frame or something being said and maybe that's why you and I kind of enjoyed Pluribus, because, like, I mean, there were like 1 or 2 episodes where like not even a word was spoken. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you just had
they definitely let it breathe. I like it.
They really let it breathe, and I think that was a breath of fresh air for people like us that are just so, you know, into it. We're like, this is really different and cool, and you just don't see you don't see anyone else doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
In the age of, like, something needs to be happening every 5 pages, you know?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we kind of lost that art of cutting shit down to just its most essential components. And because I'll watch a 3-hour movie that came out in like the 70s, 80s, 90s, and I will feel so strong that every second was needed. I'll watch a 3-hour film today and be like, do we need any of that? That could have been 90, like, you know?
Yeah, I feel like I'm the opposite. You know, that I'm sure you've heard that expression, don't be afraid to kill your darlings. And so it's like, for artists, you need to be comfortable with, like, cutting. And I'm like the opposite of, like, I'm almost too afraid to let a moment or scene breathe. You know what I mean? Like, I'm almost like, I'm too interested in, like, I want it to be kind of, and I think maybe that's why I'm able to kind of, hit that TikTok, you know, attention span like I'm able to do, because I'm so interested in being like, get in and get out. But with, you know, long form, like, yeah, that's something, that's a hole in my game. That's just me admitting to you all that, like, yeah, that's a weakness that I recognize, and that's something I have to be better about. I'm very excited to see, like, what both of us does next. You know what I mean? Like, I can't wait to see, like, what you are working on. And
I'm not letting you go yet. Here, let's end the video, and then, yes, we need to get into that really quick.
Okay, cool.
Bye!